Hi, all, and welcome to the Treasure Vortex with your co hosts, Gypsy Jules from YouTube's Zero Discrimination and GypsyDigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. Tonight we have a special guest and good friend of Gypsy's and myself, Ed Conklin. I can't wait to hear his stories. This should be very exciting. So we'll get right into it. And hey, Gypsy, how are you?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Good. Well, I know today's a special day for you, and I don't know how if you want to talk about that, but I know you kind of posted it on social media. But today's a special day for Amanda, and I know somebody's sick, so.
Yes. Today is our 10-year anniversary of John and myself, except he is sick with the vid. So, yeah, but hopefully we can celebrate maybe next week. So,
Yeah, I'm sorry, but congratulations on
thanks.
10 years
Yeah.
and 10 more to come, 20
Yes.
more to come. And yeah, I'm sure John and you will have plenty of time to, once he's feeling better, to make up for that. But congratulations
Thanks.
and wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, myself as well. It was a bummer. It's a bummer. Hopefully he starts feeling better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm finally starting to feel better. So yeah, we're all getting there. We're all getting there. But yeah, how about
Yeah.
yourself? What's been going on?
Oh man, let's see. So I just got back into town yesterday. Went on a little jaunt this weekend and went back towards the area where I had moved from and met up with some digger friends. We went to a private permission and it was a lot of fun. Our finds went to a local museum there, a little museum thing, and it was a lot of fun. So I ended up finding one of those Civil War tent um, rope tensioners.
Oh,
They're
nice.
made of brass. Some of you may know what that is. And Zola was there, and Zola got, it turned out to be a World War One U.S. Military spoon, and that was really cool. So she got to donate that, and there was a lot of different age groups. There was even some old houses on this property, um, plus a lot of Civil War encampment and stuff, and there was just too much area. So we're going to probably get to go back in the future. Parts of it have been detected before, but it's just we've barely scratched the surface. So I'm eager to go back for sure. A lot of it was exploring,
Yep.
and so I got to video a little. I did get to see one little cave opening when we were exploring. And then we had a nice surprise. You probably heard me talk about our friend Theron. Um, he has surgery tomorrow on his ankle. He broke it earlier this year and hadn't been able to detect much. And so I had been asking Zola, is Theron, when can we meet up with him and detect? And then he shows up, and we were both shocked. He'd taken the whole week off, and he's got
Oh,
this brace on his ankle. And
oh,
he's just out there going and going. And he said, I'm going to be cooped up for I don't know how long with this surgery. So he got as much detecting in as he could and took the week off before his surgery tomorrow. So he had a lot of fun too, metal detecting, and we found a little old dump there, and we dug in it, and we found some little cool little items too. So it was a lot of fun,
that's awesome.
and yeah. So I got to see a photo of something amazing that you found. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I got out for just a little bit this weekend and was detecting and ended up popping well, what I had no idea. I was absolutely stumped. I had searched through my token books. I'd searched through, I have the red books, I have the British Copper books, the Communion token books, the Hard Times token books, and I just couldn't figure it out. Knew I'd seen it before. I ended up getting an 1825 20 Reis, Pierre the First, which is like I guess a Brazilian coin. It's from Brazil, which was a hold coin. Hold, not, well, old as well, I guess.
Old and old.
Oh, yes, hold and old, which is really neat. Because me, I tend to have seen a lot of things, and it was kind of neat finding something that I had no idea what it was. So, I know I'd sent a picture to you. I'd sent a picture to Ed, and actually quite a few more people too. And it was a head scratcher. And thanks
Yeah,
to
when I saw it, I was like, what did she find?
yeah,
I mean, I was like, oh, it must be it's like one of those Connecticut coppers. It's a state copper was my first, when I very, very first saw it. And then and then when you sent me what it was, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What the heck was that doing there, and how did it get there? You tend to think about all these different things. I can imagine what was going through your head.
Yeah, it was crazy. But the funniest thing was, so here I am, I'm still out in the field and I'm sending it over to Ed, who's our guest tonight, and he was like, hold on, that's awesome. And then he went out with Paul and they had just finished up. So, is it all right if we bring him in?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Hey,
So I can
Ed.
come out from the corner in the back?
Yes. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
You can't keep baby in the corner. No. That is so funny.
So yeah, he sent me his awesome find. So Ed, what did you and Paul end up finding this weekend?
Well, I got two large scents, two Indians, and two buttons. And one of the buttons I think is military because it's got like a crazy shield on it with a hand with a dagger coming up out of the top of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up later on in my books and see what you might got.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's a great find that you got, Amanda.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So everybody give a warm welcome to Eddie. And say
The
hey.
Hamburglar's here.
Yes.
Now, Eddie, we got to meet Ed. Well, I got to meet Ed later than Amanda and Jon got to meet him at Come Out Swinging. Was that where you got to meet him at Pennsylvania?
No, it was Digstock, New York.
Digstock.
Yeah.
Digstock.
Way up in Chazy.
There, okay. But y'all got to meet him at the hotel. That was right. I remember Amanda telling me how she had met this guy Ed and how much fun she had. I think y'all stayed at the same hotel, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was telling me about this cool guy Ed, and that you would be there at New Hampshire when we were at Bone, and I got to meet Ed. And let me tell y'all, Ed made us hamburgers one day, and his hamburger brought me some immediate luck. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I went straight out right after I ate that hamburger. I'm like, I'm going to go dig. I went straight out, and my very first find, I popped my largie, my 20 was it? Large scent. So thanks to Ed. I'm gonna say it was your hamburger that did it.
We've always had a rule of thumb: always metal detector around my truck where I park. For some reason, I park on top of stuff.
What is it with that? It's so funny how that works sometimes, and I've always known. It's so funny how, and I know this has happened to us all. Is it's either on the way back to your vehicle or as you first start out from your vehicle when you get that serious find sometimes, or that really cool thing. So, I know y'all have had that happen. And what is it about that? Huh? I don't know.
No idea.
I think it was kind of funny how when we all pulled into that parking lot and everybody got out and they ran all the way to the top of that hill and they ran over all the good stuff.
Yep.
Right.
Everybody ran right over the top of it.
They sure did, because I stayed that whole day in that one area before I ventured out, because that's where I got all my good finds. And then Amanda had turned around and got an Indian right at the edge of that area there by the vehicles. I'd gotten my first hit. I got that, what was it?
A suspender clasp?
Suspender clip that was real ornate, pretty. That was my first boom. And then Maddie from Garrett, she had gotten that gorgeous handbag clasp thing. Y'all saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so, yeah, that was so much fun. So, Ed, tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of where you're from and how you got into metal detecting and treasure hunting.
Well, I'm from upstate New York, and I kind of owe it all to my dad for getting me into arrowheads and metal detecting and bottle digging. And it just, I remember probably started out when I was about 9. And I remember going out to a field that we always went to metal detecting. Or not metal detecting, arrowhead hunting. And a German Shepherd came flying out into the field. And my dad said, "Run for the car." Well, my little legs weren't quite quick enough, so at one point Dad ended up scooping me up and running for the car, and we found some pretty good-sized points. And we were going down the road, and my dad said, "Where's your shoes?" And I said, "Well, I ran out of my shoes because the dog was coming." And he said, "Oh, my God, we got to go back." And I said, "I don't want to go back." And he said, "Your mom's going to kill me if those are brand new shoes. If we don't come back with your shoes, we won't be able to go out looking for arrowheads anymore." But it was about 9, and I got introduced to a metal detector shortly after that too. And I don't know, it's just the thrill of finding stuff that keeps you going,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Definitely. So, do you remember what kind of detector that was that you kind of started with around that age?
Yeah, it was a Waits Beachcomber.
Oh,
it's actually sitting next. It's actually sitting next to the desk in the relic room.
Oh.
It's got a little tiny loop on it. It looks like it's made out of wood.
Oh, wow. You're going to have to send us photos of that. That sounds real cool.
I'll send you pictures.
I love it. I love it. Oh, man. Well, that's really cool. So what age did you, after that, you might have ventured off with other machines or anything like that? What detectors did you kind of venture off into after that later?
Well, I had the compass, the Waits compass, and then I kind of kept going on Waits. Got the XLT. I went to the V3i. My recent one that I need to spend more time on is the Garrett. The Garrett Max, because I wanted to get into the underwater. But we've been doing pretty good. I've lost track. I think there's like 6 or 7 machines in the office.
Nothing wrong with that.
But at some point, I remember going to a garage sale and they had a metal detector for sale for $20, and it was the White's TI 1000 underwater.
Oh, wow.
And I think that was the one that I took to my first couple Indian sites when I was a kid, and it was probably a good thing because it was all metal. There was no discrimination.
Right.
So by being all metal, I dug, as well as the silver and the brass, I also dug the gun parts.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You
what
know?
kind of guns? Fine. Or parts?
I got a lot of frisms where the flint would have been attached to the frism.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to send you a picture of that later. I have them kind of sitting on a shelf. They all look like little dragons, the way I have them sitting. But it's addicting.
It is, and I can't believe we spent almost a week hanging out, and I had no idea that until so everyone knows. So we usually ask for pictures and whatnot for the advertisement, and Ed starts sending over bottles, and I'm like, "You're kidding? You're a bottle digger too? How did we not talk about bottles?" So
Right.
when did you?
Photos. Amanda was sending me these photos, and I'm sitting there drooling over all these bottles. I'm like, we didn't know.
Well, you guys were at one point, you were talking about poison bottles, and there's almost like a whole shelf of poison bottles.
Yep. Yeah. So when did you? I'm guessing because of the metal detecting. Is that how you got into the bottle dump digging, or was that entirely separate of how you found and got into doing that?
You know, you didn't have a garbage man that came to your house once a week. So all your trash went out on a wagon, and you took it out behind your house, and you dumped it off a bank. So all these old houses from the 1800s and the early 1900s, you took all your garbage out and you dumped it over a bank, and there's your bottle dumps. So every house that was around in that time period had a place where they dumped their trash, and it's there. It's just a matter of finding, and the metal detector will lead you to where the iron is in that dump, and then you got to kind of poke around, maybe dig a little trench, see what you find. You know, you never know, because it's there at every place. I mean, when you metal detect, you find pottery shards and glass shards, you know, and you hit the metal patch, you know, you're close. You know what I mean? It's there. It's just a matter of spending the time and doing the homework to find out where it is.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
It takes a little homework for sure. And, you know, you're in a totally different area, you and Amanda. You know, Amanda and I, when I went up, I came up a little early, and we got to look for some bottles. I found some really cool bottles. We talked about this last week, or the week before. I can't even remember anymore. And, but y'all get to dig some really cool old bottles where you are. So do you have a favorite?
A favorite bottle?
Yeah.
My favorite bottle would probably be a Rochester Safe Bitters bottle in a half pint.
Bitters.
And it's rare because of the size of the half pint. And I actually took a buddy of mine out one day because he'd never gone to dig bottles, and he wanted to go do it. And I took him to a spot, and we were digging around, and we were finding decent bottles, you know, $100, $150 bottles here and there. And I was getting tired. So I said, you know, hey, he was like a little kid in a candy store. And I said, I'm just going to go, I've had enough. I'm going to go sit on that big rock over there by the oak tree, and I'm going to drink a beer. and you just keep digging until your little heart's content. And I was sitting there and I was poking around with a stick, and I, uncovered the neck of a bottle and started tracing it down, and it was a rare Warner Safe Bitters in a half pint. And when I got it out of the ground, I took it down to the little stream and I washed it off, and I looked at him and I said, "Mark, we got to go." He goes, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, "No, we got to go. I got something really good. It's like Christmas Day. I got to go."
That's so funny.
So, and we've only been back a couple times to there, but there's plenty more digging there for future dates.
Yeah, that's great.
And come visit. I'm just teasing. Oh gosh. Knowing Amanda, she'll be able to come way before I would ever get to come visit y'all because she's a little closer. But I think she was telling me today it was like 8 hours still at that.
Yeah. Well, there is an airport near here.
Yeah.
I can fly.
Yeah.
Speaking of flying,
and I'll carry and I'll run shuttle bus.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Flying out Thursday. I'm heading to Utah, so I'll be thinking about y'all while I'm in Utah. So going to be looking for some tech stuff. So that'll be interesting.
Sorry, I missed it. What did you say you're going to be looking for?
Aztec.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be posting some stuff on social media about that trip and our filming there. There's some stuff I can't disclose, but I was allowed to say that, and so I will keep y'all posted. But I'm really excited. I'll be working with Timothy Draper and his team of all kinds of. They've got professional rock climbers and cavers and treasure hunters and all kinds of neat. There's a lady that'll be coming. I think he told me she has psychic abilities, so that'll be really interesting to see how that plays in, or how they're going to have that come into the story and hopefully help us with some history or some. You never know. You just never know. I've never met this person, so we'll find out how that goes. So I'll be bringing my new metal detectors that I picked up this week. I don't know if y'all saw, but for our listeners, Garrett had a special announcement earlier this evening. Did any of y'all see that?
No. What is it?
So Jace Robertson from Duck Dynasty has the Garrett 18 Max and the Garrett H Apex signature camo signature series that just came out. They're beautifully dipped in Garrett camo, and you can, if you look real in all the camo, you'll see Garrett written on some of those branches and twigs inside the camo. It's really cool looking. So I was able to pick up a Garrett 18 Max camo edition and the Garrett Apex edition. So I'll be bringing those with me to use in that episode. So you just don't want to lay them down in the woods because you may not ever find them. Right? They become a relic of. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there for those of you that don't know. And anyway, back to our special guest. I know that Amanda's got a list of questions, and I've got a list of questions. So go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, so I mean, you obviously you get out quite frequently, and I saw some of the absolute, amazing finds that you've found. Like Gypsy said, they made me drool. Um, what was the watchwinder? What's the story behind the watchwinder that with the
The watch,
jewel?
the watchwinder I had found on a map, and it was on the 1850s map. It was on the 1875 map, and it was gone in the 1900 map. And I got permission it was actually on a permission that I already had, because I pretty much know most of the farmers around me, and they know me, and I have, as long as my truck is parked there, there's no problems. You know what I mean? I have full reign on a ton of acreage. And this site just popped up on a map, and I'm like, how did I miss this? And there was pottery and jewel and glass all over the place. I never found anything for 2.5 hours. I got frustrated, and as I was walking back to the truck, I got this faint little hit, and I dug that. That was the only thing that I dug from that entire house site, was that watchwinder. And I have, that's the one and only watchwinder key that I have ever found.
That's awesome.
So I guess I started at the top of the list for watchwinders. I don't know.
I would say so. So do you think someone actually detected it before you, or?
No, I don't think it was there very long.
Oh.
I don't think they had a lot of stuff. But
All right. And then so obviously, I got to also see a little bit of your arrowhead collection. So do you separate out like how you go out treasure hunting, or are you looking for arrowheads while you're detecting?
my favorite sites are ones that overlap,
Gotcha.
because my dad always told me what was good for one people to live in was good for other people to live on. They had to have a sandy loam, they had to have a water supply, and they had to have good hunting grounds. And some of my favorite metal detecting sites is, Paul, I'll tell you, when you can go out metal detecting and pick up arrowheads at the same time. That's just amazing to me, I mean, you could be talking about a difference of 1,000 years, between a house site and woodland Indians, which is it's mind-boggling to me,
Yeah.
And so many of the places around where I am overlap like that for hundreds and hundreds of years that, I mean, you got to have the eye for it. You got to be able to pick out that little speck of flint that might be covered up by dirt, and if you poke it, it might flip over and be an arrowhead. You know what I mean? Or you might be walking around and you might find a blue striped marble laying on top of the ground.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's
patience.
Yes.
Yeah, you really do. My granddad, I learned arrowhead hunting at a very early age, and one of the things that they used to do was a lot of sifting. Have you ever done any sifting for arrowheads?
I've never done any sifting.
Okay.
I've thought about it.
Really look into, especially if you're near any cave dwellings or, those cliff dwellings. Some of those areas, there's some really, really, my grandfather, his collection was just simply amazing. I would give anything to just have a quarter of that collection. And I know it was passed on to my cousins, but oh my, I can. The collection was just simply not just arrowheads, the other stuff that they found, like everything from like basket weaving to like the shoes, basket type shoes that they wove with like bone needles that they would make, you name it. It was just so many really interesting items that you can find when sifting those areas. It's just mind-blowing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the clay pottery shards have got to be prevalent too when you're sifting.
Yes. In fact, I've got an area right on the property that I live at now that as kids, me and my brother, when they would go plow the garden, we would find pottery from the Caddo Indians here. And so I really, really, really need to go sift that this summer and see if I can find some pottery. I've never sifted it. What we would do is just go right after a rain, after they plowed the garden, tilled the garden ready to plant again. And we would pick pottery shards right off the ground, just like you do with arrowheads and stuff, especially in plowed fields. But hey, Ed, changing the subject here. So I know as a treasure hunter, and Amanda and I know that, we talk to different detectorists and treasure hunters from all over. I bet you've got some pretty amazing stories. Maybe let's talk about if there's something that sticks out in your mind, it could be like either the funniest thing that ever happened while out treasure hunting or metal detecting, or possibly the strangest or spookiest. We love spooky, anything like that. So do you have any of those to share with us?
Gypsy, you wouldn't like spooky. You don't like spooky stories, do you?
But yeah,
I think one of my craziest ones was out metal detecting, and I'm swinging along, and I see this white thing sticking out of the ground, and I can't quite. I'm looking at it, and I'm getting closer, and it was the creepiest porcelain doll face I've ever seen, washed off, sticking out of the ground, just laying there. I mean, I don't know. It was the whole porcelain doll head, and not too far behind that, I found the leg. And Carrie said something about Amanda had posted something on Facebook, and you had a doll foot or something.
Yeah.
The doll foot reminded her of that. Just creepy doll face looking at you out of the ground.
Those things are very creepy looking. They can be so creepy. I think those doll faces without the eyes are the creepiest.
The eyes follow you wherever you look. Wherever you move, the eyes still follow.
I painted a painting of a Native American, and my son was telling me the other day, he's like, "Mom, I really want that painting, but it gives me the creeps." The creeps. It's always looking at me. It's watching me. But yeah, the same thing with dolls. This is creepy. And I know Amanda's found a lot of cool doll parts and stuff too, haven't you? In dumps and your mudlark stuff too.
I do. Some of them are creepier than others. Some of them are definitely creepier than others. Or heck, you go out in the woods and you just find the random, like the doll head, like the eyes are the eyes are gone and the hair's all chopped, and you're like, I don't want to meet the kid that left this out here.
Let's tell something. This is kind of it's on subject, but it's not really treasure hunting. But I heard recently on the radio that there were these creepy, eerie dolls washing up on the beaches. Did y'all hear anything about that?
Come on.
I'm going to have to Google it. I'm going to have to Google it because I had heard it and it was like, oh, that sounds creepy. And they were about to announce it And then I was traveling, and then you know how you're listening to the radio sometimes, and you're traveling, and you go to one zone and another. The radio station starts getting staticky, and you just change the channel. That's what I ended up doing. So I was like, "That's a spooky dog washing up. I want to know more." Yeah, I know. But you know, we'll wash up. I tell you, I may find some amazing stuff mudlarking. And I found some pretty creepy stuff mudlarking as well, and digging. But on to, I know Amanda's got some more questions for you. Go ahead, Amanda. Oh.
So I know, Ed and I were going back and forth, and like our wish list item, and I was showing him the elephant token that I would really love, and you sent me, oh man, that it was a beauty of a coin. So what was that coin again?
Which one?
The eagle.
The eagle. The 1854
Yes.
$50.
I'm pulling it up.
With arrows.
What?
Yeah.
What?
1854 silver half. I dug that out of a house site with a bunch of Canadian bank tokens, and I didn't do anything to the coin, and I took it to a buddy of mine who's a jeweler, which we'll bring the jeweler back in on the thimble.
Yeah.
He put it in a bezel for me, and I was out to dinner one night, and a guy came up to me, this older gentleman, and he said that he worked for the grading. I can't think of
PCGS.
Yes. He had worked for them for years and retired, and he said to me, "Sir, could I see that coin on your neck?" And I said, "Yeah, here, And he told me what he did. He was retired, and he graded it out as very fine to extra fine. And he asked me where I found it, and when I told him I dug it out of a plowed field, he just looked at me like, whoever lost that coin right after they got it. Because the detail, I mean, even the eagles, the feathers on the eagle are just amazing. But
yeah, it's stunning.
Yep.
It's stunning. Now, I know you have found many amazing things. Is there something that you're still looking for?
I'd like to find a silver dollar.
You and me both.
That's my white whale. Just a silver dollar. I mean, it doesn't have to be old. I mean, it can be, but I've never found a silver dollar.
Oh.
I'm right there with you. I've found the halves, but I haven't found the dollars. So,
I mean, if you think about it, I started somewhere around 9 or 10 years old. So we're talking about 45 years of metal detecting, and I've never found a silver dollar. It's amazing to me that I haven't. It's coming.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. But I mean, you have found so many amazing items. I mean, Gypsy, I didn't even get to send you the half of them that were sent over. And he was bringing up. He's like, "Oh, I'll bring back up the jeweler." So I know on majority of our detectorists, even treasure hunters, period, one of the things that we really hope to find is a silver thimble. I have found 2, and both of them went back to property owners. Made me cry a little bit, but so Ed, will you tell our listeners about the silver thimble?
Well, the silver thimble has buildings engraved on it, and I tried to line the buildings up with a local town, and it's also monogrammed. So I have initials to try and line it up, and it just doesn't. It comes close in so many ways, but it's off. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it was crushed. And I took it to a buddy of mine who's a jeweler, and he carefully bent it back to near perfection. And it's perfectly round again. It has a small hairline crack a little bit on the bottom rim, but to have 3 or 4 buildings in what looks like a church and monogrammed initials is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I have to kick it out to my buddy Paul because he needs to find a thimble. He's never found one.
Paul,
Well,
look at you one.
Yeah. Because, Ed, Ed and I mean, even though Ed lives up there in where all the good old stuff is, I'm still waiting for my silver thimble. But he had to come to New Hampshire to find something. You want to tell him about that?
Yeah.
Your plaque?
The what?
Oh, was that Paul? Neither of you had found a certain type of shoe, or had taken
Yeah. Made.
Yeah. The ox shoe.
ox shoe, pork chop.
Yeah.
Pork
Pork chop.
Yeah.
Paul had it mounted for me.
Yeah.
My first metal detecting trophy was an ox shoe.
It came out so neat. It looks like you polished it up and stuff, It's crazy to think that it would be neat to have done that with a lot of our first, like the first suspender buckle, the first ox shoe, the first buckle.
Paul does a phenomenal job with electrolysis.
Yeah, I'd say so. It looked great.
And then he dips them with a clear sealer, and then he goes over and beyond and has to mount it on a piece of wood because he's a woodworker. We call them wood fairies.
Wood fairies.
Magical.
Really, really neat thing that you made with the plaque for the ox shoe. And yeah, it took me to go up and visit Amanda before I found my first ox shoe. So and my first ox knob. So, I mean, maybe I'm going to find that silver thimble next. And Amanda, you still haven't found one yet either? Silver thimble? Or
no,
you have?
I have. They went back to the property owners.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe you can find one that you get to keep on one of your other permits sometime.
My little trophy came with the ox shoe and a bag of pork rinds.
Oh.
That's cool. That's good.
That's funny. Well, hey, we have a really nice surprise for everyone tonight. Ed, do you want to go ahead because it's already 7:45? Well, 8:45.
Well,
yeah, let's do it.
I figured what we do, if anybody who's listening and not in chat, if you want to jump in chat, Ed has been kind enough and he will tell you all about, but we are having a giveaway.
Well, we're going to do a little giveaway. We're going to give away an Ace 200. And they're going to do it by draw of number, I guess.
Yep.
Garrett Ace 200.
We use a random picker, and Amanda's been keeping track of everybody in the chat, and she's written a number, and then I'm going to use the random picker, so I won't know what number she's written by each name, and we will use this random picker to draw a winner. So if you want to be in this drawing that our sweet Ed has so graciously donated tonight for a giveaway for a Garrett Ace 200, be sure and drop a comment if you're in chat, or if you're able to jump into chat and drop a comment and you want to be in there, be sure and drop any kind of comment. Just let us know. We got Matthew here. Travis. Okay. So if there's anyone that wants to be there, keep dropping some comments so we make sure we got your name. We'll give you a little time to do that before we do the drawing. So,
yeah, so while everyone's writing in chat, how about we go with, so would you like to tell us what your favorite find has been?
My favorite find?
Mm-hmm. Could be arrowhead, bottle, metal detecting, any of the treasure hunting you do.
My favorite find would have to be, I probably about 15 years ago, I got onto what I thought was a trading post. And I was pulling buttons and crazy early large cents. I actually pulled a gold ring, a woman's gold ring that was missing about 10 stones out of it. And I kind of wandered off to the back corner of that field, and I found a coin spill. And one of the coins that came out of the ground was a 1785 Vermontis, and a state copper. And Vermont made a couple different variations of their state coppers, but one of the rare ones was the Vermont Tis, where at the end of Vermont it was IF. And I can't remember the maker offhand, but there were 5 coins that came out of the ground. One was the Vermontis. There was a New Jersey. There was a Connecticut. There was a King George, and I can't remember what the other one was. But, they were, when a coin is in the ground for that long a time with the fertilizer that we got going on today, you can read the bottom facing down. The upper side, it's wiped, But the Vermontis, I regret it to this day. I ended up selling it on eBay, and I don't really want to say what I sold it for, but let's just say I built a barn in my backyard and turned it into a man cave. And I would almost give my man cave back to have that coin back.
Yeah,
but
do it.
That's a 5-coin colonial copper coin spill is that's a once in a lifetime.
It really is.
I don't know. It's just crazy. And the other one would be my 2 real that I got last summer on a new permission that I think was a hotel or a tavern or something. And I got that really great silver signal. I knew it wasn't a large cent, and I cut the plug and I flipped it over, and I saw something roll out onto the hard packed dirt. Oh. And when it fell down face up, it was a Carlos III, 1784 2 real.
Those
and
2
I was
man.
kind of on my knees by myself, and the only person I thought to call would be Carrie. Awesome. And I sent her some pictures, and she said, "You found Carlos," And Amanda, it kind of goes back to something you said last week that with our other halves, that appreciate the dirt that we bring home and the junk that we bring home, and they put up with the crap of the stuff that we bring home. You know, we owe a lot to the other half that puts up with our crazy hobbies that we do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Very cool. So, Gypsy, do you have random.org all set up to go?
I have ready. You just tell me how many people are in. So those of you, if there's anybody who just joined, we are going to be about to do a drawing. So be sure and pop a comment so add to. But as of now, we have how many?
It's just 16 chatting in chat tonight.
16. Where did they all go tonight? Well, one of you is about to be a lucky winner to a Garrett Ace 200 that Ed has generously donated for a giveaway tonight. Thanks again, Ed. And he's going to ship that out for us. So you'll just let us know at our email, correct?
Yep, and I'll put it in the comments when we announce the winner. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm ready when you said 16.
There's 16 in chat, which is no reflection of who actually listens because, oh my gosh, thank you all for listening because it's, whew. We notice a lot of people end up listening later on in the evening after the show. So sorry you missed out if you're listening to this later on.
Lose you lose.
Yep. So, all right, Gypsy, you ready to roll?
I'm ready. You ready? I'm going to press generate. All right. I got a winner. You ready?
Nope. Stop. We need, nope. Don't announce it. 1 through 17. We had a one pop in a little bit late, right at the time.
All right. I'm going to read it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Number 16 is the lucky winner.
And that is John Ramoska. So, John, congratulations. If you could email tv at tv.treasurevortex@gmail.com, and I'm going to put it in chat, and get us your information so I can pass that along.
Congratulations.
Perfect. That's a winner.
It's a winner.
Winner. That's fabulous.
All right. So, yes, it is tv.treasurevortex@gmail.com.
All right, yeah.
No.
We just appreciate you all being here. We love the giveaways, and we've got more coming in the future. We've got some more guests. And I know we got a special hero question that everybody's begging for us to go ahead and ask. You want to ask, Amanda?
Sorry, I was setting up the, nope, I can definitely ask it. Now, Ed, I know you told us, well, we'll just go with it. So, if you could be a superhero and have those superhero powers to go out treasure hunting, who would you want to be and have those powers of? Or what special powers would you like to have if you could go out to treasure hunt with?
Special powers to go treasure hunting. Well, I would like to invent a pair of glasses, and so that I could see just where the coins are in the field. And we'd name them a special hero after I invent the glasses.
Well,
I got nothing. Or either that or my special hero is still to this day stands. It's the Hamburglar.
Yes.
Hamburglar.
I love it.
They had to take him away from McDonald's because it wasn't a good influence for kids.
I remember that. Well, I know that.
It would have
Oh,
these
go ahead.
special glasses. Sorry.
Oh my, I'm sorry.
Right. I love it.
So, if you could treasure hunt anywhere with no rules, where would you want to go treasure hunt? And like, what type of treasure hunting would you like to do?
With no rules. I don't know. I'd like to go. I'd like to go for a week at Mel Fisher's and sit for emeralds.
Ooh.
With no rules. That's what I would do.
Yeah, we didn't even get into the mineral or gem hunting either.
No, and we didn't get to the bottom of the well, did we?
Nope. Too many forms of treasure hunting. This is
just to give you a heads up. I found a well. I went to Home Depot. I bought two 2x6x8s and a fire escape ladder. And took a buddy of mine with me, and I screwed the 2x6x8s together and hung the fire escape ladder down the center of the well so you didn't touch the walls. And we cleaned out the bottom of the well. I got to the bottom of the well, and there was a bold rock. It was all covered with silt. And we took all the silt out. I put it in a bucket, and that went up. My buddy hauled it up to a metal detector for coins. Just cleaned the bottom of this bowled out rock, and there was a piece of pie, a rock that looked like a piece of pie stuck in the wall at the bottom. And it piqued my curiosity. And I pulled it out, and it was the biggest mistake because that let the water flowing in. It was like a wedge, and it started filling up. And I yelled up to my buddy, I got to get out of here. This thing is filling up. It was like a fire hose was coming in the bottom of this thing. Wow. So all the silt that we pulled off the bottom of that bold rock, we piled next to a tree. We came back the next day. I'm thinking I'm going to find, wishing well coins, right? Not one coin. I found a Sloan's painkiller bottle. And that was it.
Oh man! But what an ingenious way to get down that well, though. Like.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't want to. I didn't want to. And the thing was, it was about 90 degrees, and when I got down to 10, 12 feet, it was 55 degrees. I could see my breath. But between the 90 and the 50, that was where the snakes were. And once I was below the 50-degree mark, I didn't have to worry about snakes anymore because they were all hiding out in the rocks.
I didn't even think about snakes hiding in the...
Yeah, no, I don't like snakes.
No, Gypsy, that's you're out there with the snakes.
No. I'd be wearing gaiters that go to my armpits.
Oh boy, yeah. Lots of snakes here. You got to wear your snake boots for sure. Well, it was a wonderful pleasure having you on tonight. Thanks again for the giveaway. Congrats to Jon. Anything else we need to mention before we close it out tonight?
No, I don't think so. I know that we'll probably have Ed on again. I have a feeling there's a lot more of the treasure hunting that we did not get to. And I'm definitely going to be trying to plan a trip up that way. So looking forward to that. And just want to thank you for hanging out and thank you for introducing yourself at Zigstock because it's been awesome to get to know you and Carrie there. And then to hang out with you and Paul at Bone with Gypsy was a lot of fun. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show.
The red poncho lady.
Yeah, yes.
I had to end it with that.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, she'll fill you in.
Well, one other thing, this is the guy that we were telling y'all about with those neat floating display cases that had the coolest picture ever taken. He was using them as glass. You know, you might could use those as your special seeing glasses into the field there for the Hamburglar.
Yeah, that would be.
Amanda,
Yes.
that red glass arrowhead
Mm-hmm.
sits pronounced center in the wall of Arrowhead.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we
I
did
will
do.
send you a picture of that.
Yes, please. So Copper Top, as you all know, when we did the original giveaways at the beginning of this year, we had a friend that's in Maryland that I would send all the bases of broken glass to. He carves them, or he naps them into arrowheads.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, Ed ended up winning one of the raffles at Bone that we had put two of those, one bigger than the other arrowheads, or glass arrowheads that were napped into those different cases, and yeah, Ed ended up winning one. So I got to tell him the story that those were, glass I had found and got to send down to Maryland, and it got napped, and it was awesome. So it was cool how that turned out. So yes, I'd love to see a picture.
That makes that prize all the more special.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it went through to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't it beautiful? It's just beautiful. He does an amazing job with that napping that glass. It's just so gorgeous.
He does. And I got to say, I'm wishing him a speedy recovery. He's injured, so yeah. Hoping he can get back to napping. Until then, I know he's treasure hunting for arrowheads as well. So, but definitely wishing Copper Top a speedy recovery. But,
I will look him up.
Yes. All right.
All right, kids. I understand that we don't want to hold up somebody else's podcast that's coming up soon.
Right. It's already started. We're running late, but we appreciate you all for being here. Thanks again, and you all have a wonderful night and a great week, and happy treasure hunting. We love you all.
Good night, everyone.
Peace out.